Hi, and welcome back to the Busy Mrs. YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be going over how I deal with using my credit card or debit card for purchases, even though I am a cash spender. So sometimes I go to the store and I like to use self-checkout, but the cash option on the self-checkout is not working, so I'll end up using my credit card. Sometimes the cash is maybe working just fine, but I have multiple categories that I'm trying to use, and it's just easier to put it all on the credit card and then split it up into categories when I get home. So I'm going to be going over how I handle that in this video. We're going to go through what of each category I've already spent, and then I will go in my cash envelopes and pull that money out so that I can keep track of what I have left in each category. So yesterday and today, it is all labeled as August 1st, but actually I made half of these purchases yesterday. Sometimes when I close out the month before, the last day of the month, if there's any purchases, sometimes that gets put into the new month, but it all ends up working out, so it ends up evening out in the end. Anyway, so about half of this was done yesterday, half today. I've split purchases up by category already, and then to make things easier, I made a sticky note on what I've used of each category. So I went to the bank this morning and pulled out all of the cash, and then I made, like I said, I made half of these purchases today. So after I went to the bank, I then made these purchases. So I'm gonna go back into my cash envelopes and pull out the money that I've spent so that I know how much is left. All right, for groceries, between yesterday and today, we ended up spending $162. So we've got 150 and a 20. Now I do keep a little bit of change in the back of my wallet, so we're gonna see if I have enough. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. Oops, I definitely counted that wrong. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm going to exchange that, okay? So we've got 100, 150, 160, and 162. Okay, next in the fun category, I spent, let's see, let's do eating out first so I can make some more change. So this all is going to go into a category that goes back to the bank, and I'll make new change if I can at the end. Okay, so eating out, spent $39. We've got, let's make some change because I don't like to take away all my 10s. We're gonna try to make some change. Not much change options here. That's fine. Let's do 20, 30, 35, 1, 2, 3, 4, 39. So that should be 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Okay, so that's 39. Gas is a digital category, so I don't have a cash envelope for that. That's because it's just easier to pay at the pump instead of having cash. Household, we spent 35, so I'm going to need some change. Okay, so 30, let's do that. 35, so 15 left. Personal, we haven't spent anything yet. Fun category, we have spent 16. So we'll keep that. So we get $4 back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Charles Anthony, 31. Actually went over category already. Normally I budget more for him, but we started paying for daycare this week, so I had to budget the variables a little bit different this time. So he's a little bit over budget already, which is fine. It'll end up evening out, I'm sure. But I think that takes care of all of them. So I'm gonna add these up so I know how much is going back to the bank. All right, and then for this category, I'm only gonna count 20 because that's how much I had in cash. So we should have $200, $277 to go back to the bank. So we're gonna count that. $100, $150, $170, $190, $210, $230, $250, $260, $270, $272. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, 100. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 10, 20, 22. Okay, I did something wrong. I figured out what I did wrong. I skipped category. I forgot to pull money out of the miscellaneous category, so I'm gonna do that now. So I'm gonna put this down and make change if I can. Pause, let me make some change. That took me a minute, but I made change. Okay, so let me recount. Let me recount this. Okay, 287. Let's see if that's what we've got. 100, 50, 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 10, and 7. Okay, I think that's right. All right, so anyway, I put this in my back to bank envelope right here in my wallet, and I usually like to go to the bank just as often as I can, just to make sure that I don't have money sitting in my wallet, or too much extra money sitting in my wallet. Just a side note, I do not carry all of these with me every single day. I put them in here when I do my cash shoving to make it easy, but I usually only carry what I know I'm going to need. So like if I'm going to work and I know I don't need any groceries, I will leave groceries home. I'll leave eating out home. I usually carry miscellaneous, and really that's it. Miscellaneous and maybe eating out. But I don't like to carry all of my cash all the time because that's just not safe. And then also in regards to my sinking fund binders, they are very safe in a locked safe, a fireproof locked safe. If you keep cash at home, you should always store your cash in a very safe place that is waterproof, fireproof, and locked up so nobody can get to it. And then, like I showed you earlier, I do have those cash fillers replacement cash, so that placeholders, so that once I get to a certain amount, I take it out and put it in the bank so I don't have too much cash on hand at the house. Okay, so that is everything now. Again, thank you for tuning in. If any of this budgeting stuff sounds interesting to you, please make sure to subscribe. Bye, guys.